Schlockmeister fans, another recommendation from Marty. I haven't seen this movie in a long, long time. It's called My Science Project. Let's watch. The movie starts off with a spaceship that had crashed. The government found it.
Briefly, it entered our airspace last night and made a mockery of our intercept squad.
What is his plan to do with it?
Get rid of it.
Nothing.
Harlan?
Dennis Hopper plays Bob Roberts, science teacher.
Tell us about your science project. What? Science class. Your science project? Well, you know, I don't like the rules around here, right? But, bottom line, golden rule. No project, no diploma, man.
John Stockwell plays Mike Harlan. This is Ellie.
Be a Boy Scout and give me a date.
His girlfriend just broke up with him, so he agrees. And on their first date, he takes her to this junkyard, an Air Force junkyard.
Well, Leonard wasn't exactly my idea of a first
He's looking for something to perhaps inspire him for his science project. So they break in.
What are we doing here?
We're here because I need a project to graduate.
Well, he finds this glowing ball, like a Lumistorm plasma ball, which looked to be that thing that was on that spaceship we saw in the beginning. So we think we know where the government dumped it. Anyway, a security guard shows up and they chase out of there. But he does take that little gizmo with him.
Really need time tonight.
Yeah,
In spite of the larceny.
sure you did.
No, really, it was,
So he takes out the ball in the auto shop.
Oh my God. You all right? What was that noise?
A lot of weird stuff starts happening. Lights, electricity.
Yeah, you disconnected. I'll watch.
That's Fisher Stevens, his pal. Vinny, I think is his name. Something weird happened to him.
Wrong. Oh yeah? So how come everybody's leaving like school's over? I don't know. Stay tuned. We went 2 hours into the future.
They go to the local nerd, Sherman.
It's like something could warp in from one dimension to another, right?
Sure, but only if the warp got out of control.
Yeah, out of control how?
Well,
Later on that night, they break into the school.
Open sesame.
And they go and meet the science teacher, Mr. Roberts.
Wow.
And they show him their gizmo. That's what Mr. Roberts calls it, a gizmo.
Come on, touch it, yeah? Go ahead. This is generating power and light without heat, Michael.
how's that possible?
It's not possible. It's not in this world anyway.
Whoa. What other world are we talking about here?
What is it, Bob?
And weird stuff starts happening
I'll
again.
tell you what it is. It's a time-space warp that's created by this gizmo that will warp something into our dimension, or we can travel through time and space.
Oh yeah?
I feel it, infinity, water rush, water rush.
And then Bob just gets caught up in it and disappears. Where is he going? So this power vortex is going through the electricity through the city from one power line to another, and they're trying to catch it and stop it. Somehow they get a hold of a bunch of dynamite, and they're able to blow it up and stop it with the help of their car battery. But it didn't bring back Mr. Roberts. However, romance seems to be blossoming between Mike and Ellie. Meanwhile, the cops show up to
I got 3 eyewitnesses that put you at the high school tonight. There's this
investigate the break-in.
Stolen dynamite. And where's your pal, that ex-yippie science teacher?
Ellie is back at the school and runs into Sherman.
What are you doing here?
I came to see what Holland and Vince are up to. And I am warning you, Ellie, they are in big trouble.
Michael and Vinny get arrested,
Ellie's at the school. We gotta get her. Let's jam. Let's jam.
and when the power goes out, though, they manage to escape jail. They run into Sherman, who was just leaving. And this is what the school looks like now.
Uh-oh, something tells me we ain't in Kansas no more, Toto.
You see, I told you guys, the warp's expanding. Look, it's people from the past and the future.
There's also monsters.
Son of a bitch, what do you call this, Wawa?
There's also some sort of gladiator who Michael manages to kill.
You just blamed on a guy who's been dead a billion years.
They get to the school gymnasium, and then
And I don't see that, neither.
Sherman,
a volcano.
got me, Mike. Oh, terrific. The answer man is stumped.
And then a dinosaur shows up.
It's God fucking Zilla.
They have guns, and they manage to kill the dinosaur.
Oh, man.
Although its eye is still moving.
Mikey.
They manage to find Ellie and rescue her.
Hey, look, he's got her! Sherman, he's got her! Got her!
There's like a vortex tornado above the school now. Michael manages to like shut it off, but then gets sucked away as well, just like Mr. Roberts did. But 45 seconds later, with no explanation, he's back. And I guess everything's okay now. And guess who else came back from the 60s? Wearing his Easy Rider outfit.
Power, children. Beatle concerts, anti-war rallies.
I'll be dipped in shit.
For some reason, he's about to get arrested.
Well, it's not Boston Pops. You got a name in your science project, Michael.
I do?
On one condition. Get rid of the gizmo. The world is not ready for space and time.
The film ends with Michael returning the gizmo to that junkyard. And that's pretty much it. Alright, let's talk about my science project. This was recommended by Marty. It's a movie that I had on tape, Sony tape. I think it was the very first Sony tape I ever had, a beta tape back in the, maybe February of '85 or so. I taped it off a cable. I think I have Weird Science on that. Weird Science, My Science Project, and I don't know, something else. Maybe Ghoulies, I don't know. Anyway, it's a movie, like I said, I taped it, I watched it. I never really cared for this movie. I used to rag on this movie quite a bit, actually, in the 80s. Just never really liked it. I think it's just because Fisher Stevens. I just never really cared for Fisher Stevens and his character. I just didn't like his character in this movie. He plays this tough, macho Italian guy, but he's not tough or macho, and I don't even know if he's Italian. I just didn't like his character. I do like John Stockwell, who played, what's his name, Rick? Michael? I can't remember what his name is. Michael. And he was obviously in Losing It about a year before this movie came out, too. And, of course, who doesn't like Dennis Hopper? The movie is about Mike, John Stockwell. He's got to do a science project, otherwise he's going to fail his senior year in high school and have to repeat it, I guess. So he goes to this abandoned junkyard, which was used by the U.S. government, to try to find something. Maybe he can like fix up an engine or something. I don't know. And he finds this weird device that looks like it has an Aluma-Storm, like this plasma ball in it. And then he turns it on, and then weird things starts happening. He takes it to his teacher, Bob Roberts, played by Dennis Hopper. He's like this leftover super hippie from the 60s. And he like turns it on and he like touches it and he's like going all crazy. It's almost like he's high. It's like, I can see through time, and it's like power and this and that. Next thing you know, he just disappears in this light and everything, and he's gone. The police show up because they're looking to arrest them for breaking into the school, but they escape from there. Him and his, I should say, John and his friend Vinny, played by Fisher Stevens, and the girl Ellie, who's, I don't know who plays her, Danielle von Zerneck. They try to stop this weird lights and force and stuff that's going on. They blow up a power lines to stop that. That doesn't work. They end up going back to the school, and the school is like turned into some sort of other dimension now. It's some sort of time travel dimension thing going on. They walk through the hallways and they see people from like the Revolutionary War. They see people from the past, present, and future. Eventually, they find a dinosaur as well, and they have to kill the dinosaur. Eventually, somehow they're able to turn off this plasma ball. Mike disappeared for a little bit, but he came back, and then Bob Roberts appeared at the end too. And then they arrested him for what charge? I have no idea. And that's basically Bob said, "Hey, I just went back in time. I was with the Beatles, and in the '60s, man, I relived it." The cool thing was he was wearing when he came back from the past, he was wearing the exact same costume that he was wearing in Easy Rider, which was kind of cool. Anyway, they arrested me, and before he's being arrested, he says, "Get rid of that gizmo. We're not ready for that yet." Kind of like Gremlins. We're not ready for it yet. So he goes and puts it back at the Air Force Base junkyard thing where he found it, and then that's kind of how our movie ends. Again, my science project. God, I have not seen this in a very, very, very long time. And again, I just never really cared for this movie much, and I still don't care for it all that much. But it's okay. It's not as bad as perhaps I thought it was. This is a DVD put out by Anchor Bay Entertainment. It looks like I got this thing in 2002, maybe, and it's full frame. I don't know if if they released the widescreen at the time or not, but I have the full frame presentation. It is available on Blu-ray, and I'll leave a link down below if you want to buy that from Amazon. I think this kind of has developed a cult following over the years. I'm not exactly sure why though, but anyway, it is available on Blu-ray. It's a little bit pricey though, like $50, but hey, if you want it, click below. So anyway, check it out, my science project. Thanks to Marty for the recommendation, and let me know what you think about it. Leave some comments. Bye.